be full in the boys game as well. And West Lyon got off to an impressive start. Sam Underberg takes and makes this thing from deep. That makes it 6-0 in the first quarter. One of the best aspects of the game, post play. Jarence Knobloch not getting blocked this time. Central Lyon got on the board shortly thereafter, though. Leo Groen finishes inside, but the Wildcat offense, it was punishing. River Kramer, nice little backdoor cut. Cats get it to him. West Lyon rolls to their third win of the season. They win 67-40. In Remsen, Iowa tonight, a regular season girls basketball game between the Remsen St. Mary's Hawks and the West Sioux Falcons. But there was much more to this matchup than basketball. As on Saturday, November 15th, the bus carrying the Remsen St. Mary's girls team was involved in a serious accident at the intersection of Highway 75 and County Road C80 north of Sioux City. The bus was stopped on C80, tried to make a left-hand turn onto Highway 75 to travel north. A Jeep was heading south on Highway 75. The Jeep and the bus collided at the intersection. Questions lingered about the upcoming season until the girls took the court tonight. KTIV's Kaylee Doms has the story.
Today marks the first official game back for the Remsen St. Mary's girls basketball team. They missed their first two after that bus crash on November 15th.
It felt really good to be back on the basketball court, but I felt like just a piece of us was missing.
The resilient Remsen St. Mary's girls made their 2025-2026 season debut with a home game against West Sioux.
It's been a hard process for a lot of people, but I think there's just a lot of joy to be back on the court today.
After the accident, the girls took a week off to clear their heads, but ultimately decided.
I knew that I wanted to play as a school for Remsen St. Mary's because I just wanted to really be doing it for the girls.
They have 9 active players on their roster and 3 that aren't active. Those 3 are the girls seriously injured in the crash. 2 of the girls, Hallie and Grace, were at the game as honorary assistant coaches. Something the girls say made them more motivated than ever.
I think I really wanted to win for the people that were missing.
The RSM girls basketball team would like to say thank you to the Siouxland community for their unwavering support.
It doesn't matter what shirt people are wearing, what community you're from, we all feel the same way, and this is something that people have really rallied around.
And most importantly,
I love you all, girls.